praising you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Impact Marketers, the #1 show for network marketers by network marketers. I am your host, Chrysalis Vassal, and on today's show, we're going to be talking with an absolutely beautiful lady who a lot of you, I believe, will be able to relate to, because just like her, many of you might have said no to network marketing and never really saw it as something that you'd really have much of an interest in building. However, something shifted for her and she finally said yes to the industry. Things have absolutely changed for her and she's on a whole different trajectory, and she's here with us today to share her story. We won't delay any further because this is going to be juicy, so let us go and jump right into it. Come on, let's go. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to hop on in here and share with the rest of us. When we spoke last week, we spoke about so many amazing things, and I'm just excited for the rest of the audience to be able to jump in on this conversation, because I left that conversation feeling full, and I know that the others are going to leave here feeling full as well. So, like I shared in the intro video, Angie was not having it with this industry. She was like, no, not interested. I don't want to hear it. Keep your pyramid stuff to yourself. Is that how you said it, Angie? But something shifted for her and she actually got to the place where she said yes. So what shifted? What changed? Why did you finally say yes?
Well, I think for a lot of people, you have to catch them at the right time in their life. And it was just the right time in my life for me to open up my mind to something new and stop being so closed-minded, right? And I'm starting to see it so more clear when I'm trying to introduce what I'm doing to other people. I'm like, I got it. That used to be me, so I have to be patient, right? So it was that. I was just the right time in my life to do it. And I was just also at a point where I knew it was time for me to open up my mind. And then the product actually was something that I could get behind, because that matters too. Is it something that you can find passion for or that makes sense to you? Right. And so all of those things together is what made me do it.
All right. So guys, I want you to ensure that you're listening very keenly, because timing, right? Timing is a significant thing. So if you introduce something to someone today and they don't say yes, does it mean that you never get back to them? No, it might just mean it's not the right time, right? What she also shared is the actual product itself was something that she could align with. And this is super important, because there are a lot of persons who are struggling in their businesses because they really don't align with what they're trying to sell, right? And there has to be a true, authentic belief in what we're selling, right? And so those two factors played a major, major role for you. So tell us, how has the journey been since you've gotten into this new role?
I would have to say, honestly and genuinely, it's been amazing, because what I didn't realize, and I'm just so glad I opened my mind, because what I didn't realize is just being in this industry catapults you as a person into what you never thought you would be or never thought you would do, which is a lot of personal development, right? A lot of personal development we don't really get in the corporate world. If we don't have anybody cheerleading for us to get to that next level, we're kind of just left out there. But here, because it's such a community, a tight community, and you just get to learn on if you engage yourself, that's very important. You engage yourself, you're learning so much about personal development, and you're reading a lot of books to get better, and not just in that industry, but just as a person. So that really helped me, just developing myself into who I am just 2 years later. I'm a much different person than I was 2 years ago.
That's phenomenal. I always feel like that is the best side effect of network marketing, the personal growth, because a lot of us have never been introduced to personal development until we say yes to this industry. So if you take nothing else away from the industry, if you never become a millionaire, and if you never earn six figures from the business, I am absolutely 100% sure if you went to the events, if you were engaged, like Angie said, you would certainly walk away a better person. And whatever it is you step into outside of it or otherwise, it would have you would have experienced that growth in whatever else you were doing, because it came as a result of the exposure to the business, right? So it's personal development is a phenomenal thing. Now, you and I, when we were speaking the other day, we were talking about just the issue of expectations, right? And I want us to dig into that a little bit more, because a lot of persons are getting into the industry and they're expecting to become multimillionaires in 1 week, right? You are 2 years into the business, still young enough, but getting seasoned, right? And of course, you are moving towards your goal. You're not there yet, and you constantly are striving towards getting to that bigger, better goal. However, what I loved about you when we connected is the commitment, right? Angie is still with a full-time job. However, she runs her network marketing business full-fledged. Literally, when she shared this, I was like, girl, this is not a common thing. People treat this thing like a little thing on the side. But how she approaches her business is totally different, because you have to take that level of commitment to actually creating that level of success. So though it's 2 years, it's just 2 years for you. A lot of time compared to some people, because most people don't last a year, right? They don't last 6 months. So you're still doing very well in terms of time, but you're still fairly young in the industry, right? Let's talk a bit about the expectations having come into the industry, and what have your experience been like with that?
Coming in, of course, I know that you have lots of experience with it too. So, when you come in, then they want you to hit the ground running, all of the things about moving fast and all of that. And what I had to do was find my footing, right? So I understand making sure that you move fast on things, but you have to cultivate relationships. Right. And I feel cultivating relationships is how you retain people when you place them in your organization, right? Because they want to know that people want to know that you care about them. People love to talk about themselves. You have to shut up and let them talk. You have to learn about them. You have to cultivate that relationship. And so I just found my own footing in it, my own passion, and said, listen, if you really want to sustain yourself in this, then you have to cultivate a relationship. You have to be patient. This is not a race, even though they try to make it seem like it is. It's not a race. And when you get those quality people in, and they stay because they know you care, because they know the company cares, and they know that the product is good, then you're smooth sailing. For a long time. People aren't falling out of your organization so much because you have created a community, and you show them that you care, and you care more about you doing it as a team. I care more about us doing it as a team than just me. And, I just think that matters to people. So when they see that, then they stay. Even if they're not running, they still stay. They stay with the product. They stay engaged because of who you are. They like they say, people don't join because of the company. They join because of you. Yeah.
Powerful point right there. And I want to dig into it just a little bit more, because that concept of relationship, this is what network marketing is built on. However, For some reason, it seems like people have forgotten this in this digital world where people can just jump inside of the DMs. And it's funny because this is a post I made today. And I this is something I shared in my story and in my reel today, just talking about the relationships. Like you rightfully said, people want to know that you care.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from a place of know, like, and trust.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have not spent the time to cultivate the relationship, if you haven't spent the time for the person to get the chance to know you,
Mm-hmm.
how then can they get to the point to like you? And then to move to the place of trust in you.
Right.
So when you step into somebody's DMs, and I want you guys to really get this because a lot of you are doing this. I see this every single day, bar none. The moment you add someone as a friend or they add you as a friend, you are going to have a number of them just popping in and pitching you right away. Mm-hmm. I don't know you. Heck, I don't like you because I don't know you. And I can't trust you because I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you take the time out to give value first? Did you take the time out to even know if I'd have interest in what you're into? By probably just having a simple conversation. Mm-hmm. Not everyone might be interested in what you have to offer. But how will you know if you don't have the conversations? And it's not conversations around your products or services, right? That's not conversations.
Right.
And it's not conversations to lead towards telling them about the products or services. Can you be authentic, please?
Right.
Can you just authentically want to know about me? Right, Angie?
Yes.
Just hear about me, though it's in the social world. Care about the other person enough,
mm-hmm.
right? And stop thinking so much about what we're getting. And I keep preaching this over and over. I feel like I'm preaching the same thing, like I'm having a sermon and I'm talking about the same things. Yeah. But you have to be willing to serve,
mm-hmm.
give. Mm-hmm. It's not all about the receive. But the thing is about it is that once you're giving, you receive. Isn't
mm-hmm.
that powerful?
Eventually it happens. The receiving happens. You just have to be willing to give long enough. Just being authentic. And that I pray before I do anything, including this call.
Yeah.
Whenever I go before God's people in any way, I make sure I pray and ask that they see him through me, because it's so important. And I said that I'm skeptical of people too, and your energy is what I go by. And if I feel that you're inauthentic, which energy, you don't have to say a word. Energy shows,
Yeah.
And so I go by that. And I know that people go by that with me too. So I want God to shine through me. And and that's what I said, that his timing is perfect on when we receive. We just have to keep giving and wait on his perfect timing to receive. We have to be patient and not make this thing out to be a get rich quick situation, because it's not.
Right. That's one of the things that I loved about Angie when we connected, because we're talking, right? We're chatting it up in the DMs, right? And I realized that she's very spiritual, guys, right? And I'm on this journey where I'm trying to become a good little Christian, right? So I'm talking to Angie, and this energy just pulls through. And like you shared, there's this authenticity, and we just get into chatting. And the next thing we know, we're having a conversation and we're looking at coming and just pouring into you guys, right? Yeah. But I love what you said in that the receiving part of it, God will work on the receiving part. For all of this week, a matter of fact, I think it's been about 2 or so weeks now, I have just been preaching, having my own little sermon to myself, and talking about sowing and reaping.
Yeah.
And I keep going back to Matthew and just reading that over and over again. So what happened was I started a little backyard garden. And that little project, it just started to speak to me in so many ways. And it was just lining up with my business, right? And then the beautiful scriptures tells us, that if we plant, I'm paraphrasing, we're bound to reap, right? It tells us that some will fall on stony ground, some will fall amongst thorns, and all of this stuff, but some will eventually fall on good soil. And that has really just been speaking to me, because in our business, if we are sharing a good message long enough, and we keep on sharing it and sharing it and sharing it, then some of it will fall on good ground. The thing is, don't stop the sowing. Don't stop showing the seed too soon. And that's what happens with a lot of people. They sow the seeds and they don't see the harvest right away, right? They don't see the harvest right away. And so they throw in the towel. We forget that the world is governed by laws, by universal laws. And one of which is the law of gestation. There is an incubation period for every seed, be it physical or non-physical. So when we set a goal, that's a seed. We've just planted that. We've planted it in our minds, and we've planted it out there in the atmosphere, in the universe, as some people would say. However, we have to keep nourishing, watering, moving away the weeds and all of these stuff for this seed to eventually germinate, grow into a powerful, powerful plant. But a lot of us, we just throw the seed there. The poor little thing doesn't get any time to even start sprouting roots. We're throwing the towels, right? We're throwing the towels, which is not the way to go in any business.
Right.
In any business at all, right? So, Angie, you are a professional woman, right? And you are accustomed to the corporate world, right? And one of the things you said earlier is there's a difference in the corporate world in that with network marketing, there is a significant focus on personal development, right? But have you noticed any other differences with the industry and the corporate world?
Like I said, I feel network marketing is more of a community. So everyone can be a leader in this, right? So in corporate world, you know, everyone's not a leader, but in this, everybody can be a leader. All you have to do is pick up your cross and go, right? and you know, and make sure that you're leading properly, but you can be one. You can see yourself as one. You actually are one because you're one in your own organization, right? So I think that's a huge difference. I also think that people are more willing in this industry to lead you. So in corporate world, they're not as willing to lead you. You know, it's all about who you know and who, you know, who likes you enough to help you in the corporate world. But in this world, in this world, everybody's willing to help. Everybody wants to help. Everybody, you know, is just engaging and wants everyone to win. And you can see that much more than you can in the corporate world. So yes, it's a huge difference. I just named 3 differences. So
yes. Significant differences.
Liking this video so far, go ahead and smash the like button. Also, leave me a comment in the comment section. And additionally, please ensure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified once a new video is released. Let's jump back into it.
That's one of the things that I love about just being able to manage your own time. Right? Because
definitely.
That's a big one. I know that's a big deal for me. Operating my own business is a big deal for me. My sister is always laughing at me because I have worked at just 2 jobs. One, it wasn't my job. It was my sister-in-law's. She was pregnant and she wanted to hold the spot. And I could have done the work. And so she said, sis, please just hold this thing for me so I don't lose this thing. And, you know, she spoke with the boss because she knew him very well. And I went in and just held her spot for a few months until, she was ready to pop on in there. So that, I don't think that really counts. But the other time, right, I worked for someone, I was in university, right? And I'm working for this gentleman. And there's a young lady in there who just hates my guts, guys.
Been there.
I literally did nothing to this girl, right? She just hated me because I don't even know why she hated me. She just hated me, right? Mm-hmm. People came into the store and they liked me. They were giving me tips and stuff. And that just...
That's why. That's why.
That just ticked off, right? And me with my silly self, I wrote a letter to the boss telling him what was happening and seeing if there's a way we could fix this thing, right? Looking for some amount of mediation or whatever. Hey, guys, I lost this job instantly. The man sent me home. From that point, I said, no, this world is not for me. I've never worked for anyone again. I have struggled in business, but I've succeeded as well, right? But I have just decided I want to be in control of me.
Yeah.
I want to control when I wake up, even though I'm a very early waker, right? But I want to control it. I want to control what time I start working, the number of hours I put in, how hard I go at this thing. And I want to be able to have a powerful business. And it's mine to control. That's the beautiful thing about network marketing. Right?
Time freedom.
Oh, yes. And when you talk about leverage, you're really able to really leverage. That's a powerful thing. You're able to leverage not just your own time, but possibly thousands of other people's time as well. Right? So literally everyone that you bring into your business becomes another stream of income. Some are going to be small, some are going to do zero, but you might have some 100-fold, you might have some 60-fold, and you might have some 30-fold, which is absolutely beautiful. Everyone won't do the same amount of stuff, but all of it is directed to a powerful place. Right? So I'm happy, Angie, that we are getting to have this discussion because a lot of persons are in the corporate world. I know for yourself, you are looking to make that transition over time as well, right? Because we all want the time freedom, which is one of the big deals for us. That's financial freedom is one thing, but financial freedom as well as time freedom, that's the sweet spot right there.
Yeah, right? Perfect marriage. Yep.
There you go.
Perfect marriage.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I know there are a lot of other persons who are with a network marketing company and they are also running their business part-time. I'd love for you to share with us, what are some of the things that you do on a daily basis to help you to move forward in your business?
Well, I've been blessed actually to work from home since the pandemic started. And that's probably why I didn't say anything about time freedom, because I pretty much have it. I've had it for the 2 years that I've been in this business and working from home. I have time freedom to dare I say, do my 9 to 5 and my network marketing. So I just make sure I set small attainable goals every day because I do have a lot going on, but I like to make sure that I am prioritizing 7K, in my day. So my goal is to get up and do what I do, have my talk with God, my prayer, my meditation, my affirmations, and then I, drink my lemon water. No. And then I just get going with, who I'm going to share it with and who am I going to connect with today.
Right.
As I work. Don't show this. But yeah, because it's always on my mind. Who can I bless with this? Who do I feel would appreciate this? So you're always thinking, I don't care where you are, the grocery store, walking down the street, you see people, you want to share the blessing because this has been a blessing to me. And I never thought that I would say that about network marketing. I never thought I would say that, but it really has been a blessing in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
is there,
No, go ahead.
is there any specific thing that you do on a daily basis regarding your business that you feel like this is just a crucial thing for persons to do?
Yes. To set goals of calling or belly to belly or Zooming, to make sure that you're reaching out to people. At least set your own goal, 5 people today, 10 people today, however many you want to reach out to, just to start a conversation, not necessarily to throw up on them your business, but at least contact 5 to 10 people every single day to have a conversation, to get to know them, so they get to know you, like we were talking earlier, the trust thing and cultivating a relationship. It should happen every day. So, and those that you have connected with, you circle back with them. Just make sure you give people
some breathing space. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have to call them every day, but make sure you keep them on your list. What I call it the waiting room. Put them in the waiting room.
I like that.
Yes, and go back and get them when you feel like enough time has passed. So.
Mm-hmm. I want. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that was it. That's what I would suggest. At least one of the things I would suggest people do every day.
Yeah, I want to add a little pointer into that as well, because the thing with relationships is that some evolve faster than others. You may start talking to someone today, and it could evolve to the place where you're on a phone call with them today. And you could possibly even be sharing the opportunity with them today. Is that a common thing? Not necessarily. There are some persons who you may need to be speaking to for weeks, months before it gets to that point. But it really depends on the speed and the dynamics of the conversation, right? One of the things that I learned is the longer you can delay the ask. And so what you shared just now about having a waiting room, I love that. Because if you can delay the ask and you can just have a number of persons in the waiting room, and you are continuing to serve these people, you'll never be out of prospects. You'll never be out of people who are getting started with you. So one of the things that I always like to say to persons is just think about it. If you are adding 10 people every single day, and you're having conversations with 10 people every day, maybe 6 days per week, right? Then by the end of the week, you'd have spoken to 60 people. At the end of the month, you'd have spoken to 240 people. That's a lot of people in the wait room if you are doing this consistently.
Yeah.
Think about what this number looks like in month 3, in month 4, in month 5. Hey, it's getting so big I can't even do the maths anymore. Right? And so then it requires now that you even have other systems in place that helps you with following up with some of these people. But nonetheless, what happens is that you now have a massive room, and you are not struggling to find good word prospects.
Right.
So if you just take the approach, the right approach, where you're building these relationships, you'll be amazed at how quickly these transitions can happen, because you're going to constantly have people in there, right? When you just get started, let's say you are listening to this advice and you're saying, okay, I'm going to do this. For the first week, do not intend to be pitching anyone in your first week. While the relationship might have developed within a week, the average relationship does not develop that fast, right?
Right.
And so don't have it in your mind that you're going to be pitching anyone this week. A matter of fact, just work for 2 weeks without trying to pitch anyone. But when it gets to week 3, you now have 120 people, or say 60 people Because let's say you're taking the people from the first week that you can now start having that kind of conversation with, right? You have 60 people that you can potentially invite to take a look at what you're doing. And these may be solid enough relationships. But if you do not take that approach, you're always going to be struggling and stretching and just not having enough people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, it's very important that you're interacting with people on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
This has become significantly easy because of social media. No longer do we have to walk the streets or any of that kind of stuff. If you have exhausted your list of people who you personally know, who you probably grew up with, who are accustomed to you or any of that, if you've gotten to that place where you've exhausted the list, and hey, eventually you will get there, right? Social media has made it so much easier for us to connect with people. Again, the important thing is that, like Angie said, you're not just vomiting all over people, right? You're just not, you're just not going there with a get mentality. But if you do this thing right, you optimize, let's say you're using Facebook, you optimize your Facebook profile to attract the right people. And of course, you have to go out and pull these persons in. That's a big part of it as well. I personally am a strong believer in both forms of marketing, both organic and inorganic marketing. Mm-hmm. I reach out to some people, but hey, I want people coming to me too.
Yeah.
And so using both methods to me is very important, because there's sometimes when just based on all of what's happening, you're not able to go out as much and pull in as much. So let's say you started out by adding 10 people or talking to 10 people per day organically. There's some instance where our lives just get really crazy, really haywire, and a lot's happening. We all have that. And let's say the number has to move down to 5, 2, or 3. That's a drastic drop in the number of outreach. So if you have something set up where you're pulling people in as well, then it takes away the stress of saying, oh my God, but I have no leads coming in because I'm not constantly doing it. Right? And so for me, it's always just setting up these structures so that you are not always on the chase, but you can actually be chased. I like to be chased, y'all. I like someone coming to me and saying, yeah, I saw this and this, and I saw that and that. Tell me more about this. That's always a beautiful thing, right? But some of us are always constantly on the chase. But we have to become better at our marketing, and this goes into skill sets. We have to understand that once you get into any industry, network marketing is no different. There are different skill sets that you have to learn. In network marketing, sales, marketing, and leadership, these are some core ones.
Yeah.
These are skills that you have to develop. There is no way around it. But the thing is, they are skills. Therefore, they can be developed, right? So the thing is, social media has made it so much more easy for us. So a thing I would like to leave with you is to use it. It's like they always said, someone who is able to read and not read is no better than the person who can't read. Yes. If you have access to the internet, you have at your fingertips the opportunity to build far and wide.
Yes.
There's no limit when you have access to the internet. Do you know what to do? Maybe not. But that's how it comes into investing in yourself. The knowledge is out there. Go and get it. Right? Yes. That's no excuse. We can always grab the knowledge. I personally, when I got into the online space, like everybody else who gets into the online space, I knew nothing.
Right.
But over time, as I invested in myself, it started to shift and it started to transition, right? But again, it's all skill set. But if you are watching this, it's evidence that you have access to the internet. Therefore, you have in your hands the ability to literally make some massive, massive changes in your life. Our ancestors were not lucky enough to have what we have today. And so we cannot take for granted the blessings that we've been given. And the internet is one of them. Angie is in the US and I'm here in Jamaica. And we're here having a beautiful conversation, right? We connected on Facebook. The internet, guys. Had there been no Facebook, had there been no internet, what we're having right now would not have been possible. So you really have to look at what are some of the things that I need to utilize if I'm not properly utilizing them, right? Now, Angie, what is something you would like to say to someone who may very well be struggling in their business? What piece of advice do you have for them? What would you want to say to such a person?
I was remiss in even mentioning social media, but you're right, because I built a community in the Women of Sound Wealth and on Facebook, in a Facebook group. I created that with a partner to, of course, to gain visibility and for people to gain awareness of who we are and what we do. Right. So my biggest thing is to not treat this thing like it's a part-time job. Even if it is, don't treat it like that. Be patient with yourself. That's what I tell everyone. Just be patient with yourself. If you believe in yourself, just know that it just will take time. Just get better. Don't worry about anything else, because all the money, everything will follow if you focus on getting better. If you focus on being, developing yourself into a great leader for your team and focusing on the things that matter. Focus on other people and all the other good stuff will follow. So just take your time and even when you hear other leaders say, you got to run, you got to do this, you have to go at your pace, learning what you need to learn so that your team follows you and they're following a good example. And you all are creating a solid team. So just be patient with yourself and learn and have passion and commitment to what you're doing so that it will grow into, like you said, that seed will grow into a beautiful tree, because that's what you want. You're not just doing this for nothing, right? You're doing this for the ultimate goal, right? But along the way, there are so many beautiful things that's going to be happening for you as you develop into whoever you're going to be. So just be patient with yourself.
Thank you so much for that, Angie. Guys, Angie said it. Just be patient with yourself, right? We dug into some amazing stuff on this call, right? Angie came on, she poured into us, right? And she shared some amazing stuff. This was a beautiful discussion, right? Again, when we connected the very first time, the energies just clicked, we just really clicked because we're on a similar kind of wavelength. And I'm very grateful that you took the time out to be here with us and to pour into the audience here, right? So guys, once you're watching this, again, you want to ensure that you are subscribing to this channel so you don't miss any of these updates, right? We're going to keep putting these videos out and we're going to keep having men and women who are doing extraordinary things in their businesses. And these are persons who are at different stages in their business, right? But you can take something away from each and every one of them. So you want to ensure that you subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so that you're notified once we upload a new video so that you don't miss out, because the more you keep hearing and you keep hearing and you keep learning and you keep learning, right? It's going to cause a shift in your business. And you're not even going to know when it happened, but something is going to shift in you because you leave, something was shared with me that I feel is so powerful. You leave from a place of belief to a place of knowing. Like a friend said, you don't believe that your mom is your mom. You know your mom is your mom, right? And so when you get to that place in your business where you don't just believe that you're going to succeed, but you know that you're going to succeed.
Yeah. Yes.
And faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing. So keep showing up. Keep showing up here at Impact Marketers, and just keep listening and following the tips that you get here. Right. So Angie, again, thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Right. So guys, until next time, toodaloo. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.